Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening. Okay, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining Kirtan Japa with Prabhupada. So, by hearing Prabhupada's voice itself is very special because his voice, it is said that his voice is from Vaikunta, his spiritual vibration. So, it does make a lot of difference when we chant with a pure devotee. And also the face, the meter that Prabhupada used is very good because it ensures that we pronounce each and every word carefully and clearly. It is okay, sorry. Okay, Hare Krishna. Lagging, huh? Hmm. Okay, all are fine. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is it okay now? Okay, thank you. So please keep telling me that. Okay, because I need to observe and get back to Unify. For now, they have done some tweaking in my system. So I have to get back to them if there's any problem. Okay, let's take darshan of the presiding deities of Sri Jagannath Mandir, Kuala Lumpur. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. And Shri Nitai Sundar Gaurahari. Okay, today's invocation. So today we have adopted a new system where we go by alphabetical order based on the names on the registered list. So invocation will be by Ajita Mataji, 2.2 will be Aparajita Mataji, 2.6 actually will be Bindu Mataji based on alphabetical order, but if she's not able to, then Prema Mataji, and 2.7 Kanti Mataji, 2.11 Chandra Prabha Mataji, 2.12 Indrani Mataji, 2.13 Jayamani Mataji. So we have something new today. Mataji also will be explaining the verse because this is covered in level 1. So we will just run through that. 2.17 Jagadish Mataji, 2.22 Jai Sitarani Mataji also with explanation. Slide 18 reading by Kajai Priya Mataji also with explanation. 2.27 to 2.27 to 28 Yashoda Mai Mataji. Finally 2.31 Meena Mataji or Pushpa Mataji. If Meena Mataji able to join us today, then it'll be good. Otherwise Pushpa Mataji have to help us. Okay, Ajita Mataji, are you ready?
Um, yeah, hi. Good. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome, Mataji. Are you okay? You can start, right?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Prayers.
Yes, yes.
I'll start. Om Ajnana Timira Dasha Nana Jnana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Hare
Continue, Mataji.
That's okay. No
No
problem.
need
I'll
to continue.
continue.
I think one more time, right? Forgot. Hare Krishna. Come, let's do together. Hare Krishna, Hare
Okay. Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare.
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Sorry,
Hare Hare.
Mataji. Thank you so much. I was like, so I couldn't
No, no,
wait to
no.
tell that at
No,
the end of the class we are supposed to do group chanting. So I, I just wanted to say that. Sorry, Mataji.
no, I went on telling myself, do it, please,
Yeah.
do it, please. I'm
So
so
no, no, no.
sorry.
I think it's my fault. My
Okay,
fault. So at the end, we will do group chanting, and at that time, we will all unmute ourselves and we just chant together. So that's okay if our voice overlap with each other. So we just want to do it. Okay, and then moving forward, I would like to take this invocation prayer to Kirtan. So probably the first 2 days I will do. Then everybody will sing together. Then so for that we might start a little earlier. So whoever joins at 7:30, that will be fine, that will be okay. All right, so and then later on the coming weeks, then we can assign somebody to lead the kirtan. That will be nice. Okay, right. Let's pay obeisance to His Divine Grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay, a little bit and every week we will talk about some excerpts from the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So today we will talk about 5 ways to love Krishna, 5 ways to serve Krishna. So, okay, this one I did not give anybody to read. So, Ajita Mataji, would you like to just read this understanding of Gita?
all right.
Okay.
Understanding of Gita. Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna. That is to say, he must be a devotee in a direct relationship with Lord. As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he also has a direct relationship with the Lord. That is a very elaborate subject matter, but briefly, it can be stated that a devotee is in a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of 5 different ways. Number one may be a devotee in a passive state. Number 2, one may be a devotee in an active state. Number 3, one may be a devotee as a friend. Number 4, one may be a devotee as a parent. Number 5, one may be a devotee as a conjugal lover.
Thank you,
That is the
Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so okay, here the important phrase is here is that how to understand Bhagavad Gita. So we have to have qualities similar to Arjuna. Okay, which is we have to have a direct relationship with Krishna. Okay, so what is the direct relationship that Arjuna has with Krishna? Before that, what is this direct relationship? Direct relationship is there are 5 ways, and how do we exactly develop this direct relationship? There are 5 ways. One may be a devotee in a passive state. Passive means in Sanskrit is called Santarasa. So what is Santa Rasa? Which means you are looking at God in the mood of awe and reverence. Okay. Yes. So the sun. All right. That is Santa Rasa. Okay. Awe and reverence. Okay, we appreciate God with the mood of awe and veneration as the merciful deliverer of fallen soul. Like this is in brief, yeah. Actually, it's a big topic, like it's mentioned here. Yes, elaborate subject matter. So, devotee in passive state, they worship God in awe and reverence. So that is called Santa Rasa. Okay, so what happens in active state? This awe and reverence is still maintained, but it is added with service. Okay, therefore it becomes servitude mood. Dasya rasa. Dasya means servant. Okay, so that's how it's active. Here passive means you look at God, something's really supreme awe and reverent. But in dasya, you take that mood and you add with service, and when you render service, then your relationship with Krishna becomes servant. Okay, so what happens at friend? Another name is Sakya. Sakya means Saki, Saka. These are all friends, name of friends. I mean, term of friends. So here what happens is, hold on, this not following the sequence. Okay, so here these are not really present, the awe and reverence. There is service, but in a more non-formal way. Okay, as a friend. Okay, so later I'll ask you which one Arjuna falls under. Okay, and then there is parental mode. How Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj love Krishna, having relationship with Krishna, that is called parental love. So that is called Vatsalya Rasa. So in this mode, devotee as a parent, they have some kind of sense of responsibility. Oh, I must take care of him, like that. Okay, finally, this is a very high level. What Radharani has for Krishna, that is transcendental mellow, conjugal lover. So, sorry, this is not Dashya Rasa, this is Madhurya Rasa. Okay, so can anybody tell me where Arjuna falls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 3, friend. Yes. So this is basically to tell where is Arjuna, because it is said that we have to understand Bhagavad Gita by having qualities similar to Arjuna, which is to have direct relationship. So Krishna is giving Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna because Arjuna fits in one of these um, one of the 5 direct relationship. Okay, is love, Mataji, love, like a boyfriend girlfriend like that. Is very high level. Actually, our level of love, it ends at parental. We can't go here. This is for Radharani. Okay. Vatsalya Rasa. You can go up to Vatsalya Rasa. Okay. All right, recap. 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. Can somebody tell me? Very fast, very fast. Did anybody do revision or run through the PDF before the previous chapter? 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. This was from the introduction. Okay. Yes, Sobita Mataji. Sama. Kala, Jiva, Prakriti, Karma, Ishvara. Yes. Jiva, Ishvara. No, okay, that's the 5th one. Remember? Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. Remember the 4 eternal and 1 non-eternal that can be changed. What is that changeable topic? Yes, karma. 1 is not eternal, not eternal. Okay, Dhyana Yoga, belum Mataji. Okay, now, and then what we covered? Who did we talk about? It's okay. Who did we talk about? Remember? The first person who spoke in the Bhagavad Gita. The first verse. Mataji? Dhritarashtra, right? He was inquiring to Sanjaya, what did my children do? Okay, yeah, blind Dhritarashtra. After that, we looked at significance of something. Significance of Kurukshetra, very good. Next, what did we look at? What did we look at? This was not in the level 1, it was covered in the level 2. Yes, 9 signs of victory. So Parasurama is in Kurukshetra, isn't it? The significance. Okay. After that, this is the next topic is very common topic. I mean, we also covered in level 1. After the 9 signs of Pandavas. Arjuna Simta, very good Mataji. Next. After that, another famous topic in chapter 1. And we will continue in chapter 2 as well. Sasdi, very good Mataji. So all can remember Sasdi? Sasdi, come on. Because we will refute the arguments one by one later. I mean, not we, Krishna. Compassion, yes. Lack of enjoyment, very good. Nice, Mataji, you put it in a correct phrase. Okay. Lack of enjoyment, loss of enjoyment, no enjoyment, yes. Okay, indecision is number 5. Compassion for friends, family, very good. Fearful or sinful reaction. Okay, he's worried of the reactions. Distraction, correct. Okay, so we have C, we have E, distraction done, CES. Oh, okay, yeah, S D. Okay, indecision. Okay, done. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, all done already. So we will run into chapter 2 now. Okay, so actually, has Krishna spoken already? Does anybody remember? Okay, is it? Is it? Is it really? Has he spoken in chapter 1? Yes, Kajay Mataji, would you like to tell which what? Which part?
I think it's the part where he asked Arjuna to listen, right?
No. Mm, is it? Let me see, Mataji. Text 25. Anybody can read? Anybody has Bhagavad Gita with you? What did Krishna say? Actually, Krishna spoke one sloka in chapter 1. Okay, listening. Listening, yes, but he has not advised him yet. That's the meaning of the listening. But he said something in chapter 1, right?
Yes, text 25, correct.
Can you read, Mataji? Translation.
In the presence of Bhisma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here.
Yeah, so basically that's the only verse that Krishna has spoken so far. Okay, so yeah, so going into this chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of material body and the spirit soul. Okay, so this realization is only possible when one works without attachment to fruitive result and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. Okay, so what is the point that we will cover here is that when we become indecisive, we should ask for guidance. So Krishna, again, Krishna has not spoken yet. Really, he has not advised yet. He was just listening. Technically, he was listening. Any good speaker, any good boss or leader should be a good listener first. Somebody comes to you for a problem, then we want to be a listener first. So you can see from the level 1, we have covered this point. I have given you all this point. So you can see whether in this past 1 month have you been a better listener. So you can just ask. So I think I was like consciously trying, okay, let's be a good listener, but don't jump into giving answers or give a solution. So listen first. Okay, I will take you to the overview so that you know what is in store for you. Okay, first 10 slokas will be covering Arjuna's doubts, reason, the remaining one more reason. Okay, he will continue talking about his doubts. He'll give one more reason, and then he says he's in confusion, and finally he will surrender. Okay, now we're going into the essence of the chapter 2. Krishna will take us this from 2.11 to 2.30. Krishna is going to give us this knowledge, and then he says fight. Arjuna asked Krishna instruction what to do. Yeah, that is already servant, Mataji. That is where the relationship will change. Okay, so I will stress that point later so that we will remember what happens in this chapter. So Krishna will give this knowledge, and he said fight. And then he goes on to talk about karma kanda. Okay, karma kanda, you need to know karma means work. And then he said, do your work, fight, like that. Okay, so this remaining 2 we will cover in the next class. We will touch little bit. We'll touch a little bit on 2.31 here, and then later on we will cover the balance in next class. Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is it okay? Is it getting okay? Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so okay, here Arjuna gives further reason for not fighting, and then he goes on to surrender to Krishna. And then what comes under here? This is where you have all the matter and spirit topic. There is no death for the soul. The body can never be saved. So fight. And then karma kanda means do your prescribed duties, gain material enjoyments. Okay, and then we will tell what kind of enjoyment that Krishna is talking about here. So fight, 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 fight. All these reasons is Krishna actually refuting each and every reason, These are all refutals to Arjuna's reasons. Okay, 2.2. Aparajita Mataji. Are you ready, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastvakasmalam idam Vishame samupashtitam Anarya jushtam ashvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy.
Thank you, Mataji. I like your tune.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Yeah. Okay, so before this 2.2, that we did not do 2.1, so I will just run through quickly. So here, Sanjaya will tell that seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words. So that is the 2.1 is a prelude to 2.2. So there, Sanjaya mentions okay, Arjuna is full of compassion, his mind is depressed, full of tears, and then um, Arjuna calls Krishna Madhusudana. So Madhusudana speaks the following words. So why Sanjaya is calling Krishna as Madhusudana? Because Krishna has killed a demon called Madhu. Okay, so that, yes, correct, Mataji. Yeah, so that is demon of misunderstanding. So now, at this point, when Arjuna was like so despondent, so lost, and he put his Gandiva bow one side, Dhritarashtra's like happy already. Oh, okay, Arjuna's not gonna fight. But Sanjaya indirectly is telling, look, Krishna is the killer of demon of misunderstanding. Now that he's going to speak, and he's going to kill the misunderstanding that Arjuna has on his mind. So Dhritarashtra was happy to hear that Arjuna had dropped his bow and was overcome with grief. Now his sons could be victorious. However, Sanjaya's words, especially the word Madhusudana, is actually dispelling Dhritarashtra's happiness. So that is a significance of Sanjaya calling Krishna Madhusudana. So that is a prelude to this 2.2. So what happens here? So there are three important aspects here I would like to show you. So that's why I highlighted here. So one is Bhagavan. So I don't think I need to go into the Bhagavan again. You all remember, right? What does Bhagavan means? Can you all recall level 1 lesson? You can recall two things, our train story and the six opulence. You all remember, right? Yes, Mataji? Can, right? Demon Madhu. I'm not so I can't recall right now, Mataji. You have to look at the Krishna book, the sequence. Okay. So yeah, Bhagavan, remember the train story. Okay. The light of the train engine, and then the driver. And then there's another qualification of someone who calls himself Bhagavan. They have to have the six opulence full. Okay, not little bit of everything, full in that six opulence. So okay, so this one is level 1. We covered this, and so here, Anarya Justam Asvargyam. Okay, Krishna is saying, why? Oh my God, sorry. Yeah, okay, read already. Read. Anarya means opposite of Arya. Arya means a person who knows the value of life. So Krishna is calling Arjuna, why are you being an Anarya? Okay, why are you behaving like this, like an Anarya? Arya means one who knows the value of life. So he's calling Arjuna, why are you being the opposite? Okay, this will not lead to higher planets, but to infamy. This will lead to lower planets. So why Krishna will explain all this later. Okay. So in other words, Arjuna will become infamous in the present, then not be awarded president in higher planets of death. Okay, if somebody dies fighting, he goes to higher planets. Okay, but if he does not fight and flee the battlefield, then people will talk bad about him. So that is infamy. So this is like a summary Krishna is telling. Okay, so we move on. 2.6. Who is Apara Mataji? After Apara Mataji. Bindu Mataji, are you here? I think Mataji is not here. Right? Okay, no. Prema Mataji, are you here?
Yes, Mataji, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, Mataji. Help us, Mataji. I think Bindu Mataji is still busy.
Sure, I'll try my best.
You can. Yeah, okay,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Arjuna Uvacha Nachaidvitmaha Kataranno Gariyo Yadva Jayamaya Divano Jayeyo Yan Eva Hatvana Jijis Vishamash Devashtitaha Paramukhe Drashtraha. Arjuna said, nor do we now which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, so here is the question. What is this indecision? Indecision means you are trying hard to decide between two things or more than few things. You want to take a decision. So what is the indecision that Arjuna is being in dilemma for? Is about conquering them or being conquered by them. So he's torn between these two reasons. So between 2.2 and 2.6 we have 3, 4 and 5. So in between what happens is, in a glance, Krishna will say, oh son of Pratap, to fight or not to fight? That is the question. Yes, Mataji. So here he's asking to conquer by them or conquer them. So Krishna will say in 2.3, oh son of Pratap, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of enemies. So Krishna is motivating him. But Arjuna will counter again. Oh, killer of enemies. Oh, killer of Madhu. How can I counter attack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? So why here Arjuna is calling Krishna, oh killer of Madhu, oh killer of enemies? Because Krishna has been killing demons. So now Arjuna is thinking, oh, it was easier for you because you were killing enemies, you were killing demons, but now I'm in a situation I have to kill the people who are worthy of my worship. So he's indirectly asking Krishna, would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather Ugrasena or his teacher Sandipani Muni? So Arjuna is asking this kind of question. Then in 2.5, he gives a conclusion. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain means, even though he knows these people who are worthy of his worship, they are in this fight because they are looking for worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. But according to scriptural quotes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. So in this case, Drona, Bhishma, they are on the Kuru side because of the financial assistance they have received. So in that sense, they are not fit to be, they deserve to be killed. So that is the idea here. Okay, so and then it brings us to 2.6, indecision. Arjuna asks, what is correct? What is wrong? What is correct? What is wrong? This is the fifth reason. So this was the reason that we have not touched previously. Okay, whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. Okay, so earlier we explained that begging is not an occupation of a Satriya. Okay, but he is willing to go to that extent. He desired to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household. Okay, so in that way, we can also see how detached he is. It's okay, I'm a Satriya. It's okay, I'll go for begging. I don't want this kingdom. Let them live. He's attached in that sense. Okay, so what the practical application that we can get from in between all this? I spoke about 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. Okay, that the practical application is this. Arjuna's condition illustrates the result of selfish consciousness because everything that he connects is to his bodily conception. Okay, and because of these frustrations and inability to decide, and because of this frustration, he is unable to reach sound conclusion. Okay, so putting in perspective, these are the reasons: compassion for friends and relatives, no enjoyment even if victorious, fear of sinful reactions, destructions of family traditions, finally, indecision. So, if we don't know what to do, we ask someone what to do. Okay, so this one we will skip this. We are done with this. Okay, 2.7. Kanti Mataji. Mataji, you're there?
Hare Krishna. Can hear?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Carry on, Mataji.
Karpanyadosopahata swabhavah prachami tvam dharma sammudachetah yachreyashani chidam bruhi tanme shishyasti hamsadimam tvam prapannam. Translation: Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, so 2.6 and 2.7. What is the link? Okay, so the link is he is perplexed. Arjuna is perplexed, yet eager for enlightenment. So in 2.6, he was confused. In 2.7, he's asking, I am your disciple now, a soul surrendered unto you. So please instruct me. Okay, so that's how Arjuna come to this situation, seeking instruction, seeking help from Krishna. Okay. Okay, confused about my duty. Actually, this verse we also covered in level 1. So we will move on, yeah. Okay, yeah, this is the question somebody asked earlier, right? Okay, this is the point where upon Arjuna's surrender, Krishna's role turned from friend to guru. Okay, so this is where it happens. Okay, yeah, so some additional information from the purport. We understand that by nature's own way, complete system of material activity is the source of perplexity for everyone. So at every step of our life, we are faced with confusions, stress, indecision. So there are perplexities at every step. So it behooves us, especially in spiritual life, it behooves us to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give us proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. So all Vedic literatures, all great saints and personalities in the past have either advised us or lived a life where they have approached a bona fide spiritual master. Okay, so this is all the means to get free from perplexities of life. Okay, 2.11. Chandra Prabha Mataji. Mataji, you're there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Sri Bhagavan Uchava
Uvacha, Mataji.
Asotyanas Vasatavam Prajna Vadamiskha Bhashashi Gadasunska Nanu Sochanti Panditaha. Explanation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so before I explain this verse, I would like to do a quick recap from the first section of this topic, 1 to 10. So remember, the first section was about Arjuna's further doubts, reason, and surrender to Krishna. Okay, so Arjuna's further reason for not fighting was indecision, and that is because the killing of superiors, the factor that comes in. And then later he surrenders to Krishna. Okay, he says he's confused, and then he has miserly weakness, asking what is best, surrender in instruction, asking for instruction. Okay, and so we also covered the practical application of that section, right, from 1 to 10. So I covered here, explained here, right? So the relationship change. So when we are in perplexities, we seek for assistance. Okay, and then in 2.11, what do we do here? How do we apply this? Okay, Krishna is saying, why speaking learned words? You are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So here you will see Krishna is opening the subject matter of spirit and soul. So why Krishna is sometimes he use this strong words while speaking learned words. So the first step in teaching is to dismantle students' misconception which may require strong words. So as a teacher, he's doing this here. Okay, and then he said, you're speaking very learned words. You have given so many reasons. You have given the reason for compassion, sinful reaction, all the safety reasons, but this is not worthy of being said. Those who are wise, they lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So how? Krishna will explain all this logically. So this logical or analytical explanation is called Sankhya. Okay, Krishna is giving us the knowledge on the Sankhya Yoga. So this is another name. Okay, 2.12, Indrani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Na tvam eva ham jatu nasam, na tvam nema janadipa, na chaiva na bhavishama, sarve vayam mata param. Translation: never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. So earlier we saw 2.11. This again a prelude to 2.12. So what is this? What Krishna actually giving here? And a glimpse of living and death. Okay, so here Krishna says, why? Because we have been existing forever since time, from time eternal, right? So okay, now Krishna is giving. Krishna said, in the past I was Krishna, in the present I am Krishna, in the future I will be Krishna. In the past you were Arjuna, in the present you are Arjuna, and in the future you will be Arjuna. Okay, see here, never was there a time when I did not exist. Same goes to Arjuna, same goes to all these kings. Or in the future, none of us will be cease to be. We will still continue to exist. Okay, so all these kings assembled here to fight were all individuals in the past and are individuals in the present and will continue to be individuals in the future. So in other words, we are all eternally spiritual individuals. It's not the body. Okay, so another way to explain is that he does not say that in the future Arjuna and the kings will become one with him. Okay, so here you might find something familiar when people say at the end everything will merge to God. Okay, this point is refuted here. Okay, or Krishna is saying he was formless in the past, and then now he has assumed a form now, and in the future he will again become formless. No, he refutes that theory. Okay, rather he states his point clearly. I was Krishna, I am Krishna, and I will always be Krishna. Okay, so similarly Krishna also telling Arjuna's eternal individuality. It is not that Arjuna will be was merged into Krishna in the past, that he has now assumed a bodily form due to illusion, and but in the future he will be again merged into Krishna. No, Okay, so this basic understanding of the difference of the individual soul and his temporary body is further stressed in the next verse. That's a very famous verse also, 2.13. Mayavadi. There are few theories that Mayavadi's um, theories based on. One is merging. We'll become one with God. So here, whatever I explained just now, that refutes the Mayavada theory. Okay, Krishna is refuting that we will not become one with God. That is Mayavada theory. But Krishna is stressing here, Krishna is establishing that you will always remain an individual, I will always remain me. But actually we are part and parcel of Krishna. But Krishna said your individuality will always remain. So that is what he's refuting. No, Mataji, we do not merge with Krishna. Attaining liberation means being liberated from the these four miseries of life: birth, death, old age, and disease. Liberation from these problems. We will go back to spiritual world, liberate from this material body that we have, assume our spiritual form, which is the spirit soul. We will never merge with Krishna. That is why Krishna is saying here. So you can always quote this sloka if you need to, and if there is any necessity, then you can tell Krishna says here, this refutes the merging theory. Okay, we'll always remain as individual. Okay, so yeah, so that's why I made it a point that I explained this part. So if you need to know more information, you can anytime, as usual, can WhatsApp me. Okay. Okay, so yeah, 2.13. Yeah, this was done in level 1. Welcome, Mataji. 2.13. Jai Sita, sorry, Jaimani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Verse 2.13. Dehi nasimi yada dehi kaumaram yauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuhyati. Translation: as the embodied soul continuously passes in the body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. So you can briefly explain?
Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Thank
Right.
you. Okay, can.
Do excuse me if I make any mistakes.
No
Okay.
problem, Mataji.
What I have understood here is basically, since every living entity is an individual soul, and each soul is changing from one version of a body to another version at every particular time. Basically, like when we were born, we were taking the body of a baby, a fetus, or I should say, and slowly we were going into a small crawling baby, and slowly we were going into a young child who is able to run here and there, and from there we go to the young adult, and basically man, and then we are coming back to the old age where we start to shrink. We become old woman or old man, and slowly we are coming into death. So basically what I have understood here is the soul remains the same even though physical changes is taking place. As such, upon death, due to the transmigrates, I think transmigrates, if I'm not mistaken.
Transmigration, yes.
Yeah. So upon death, we should also accept that the soul is immediately taking another body. And what sort of body it is taking, it definitely depends on what sort of lifestyle and our contribution to the life that we did in the previous birth. And just like, when we are alive, we seems to have a small car, big car, and and we are being happy each time we move into a bigger car. So that comes to a point where even when we are going to another body after that, it should be accepted as a way of life. And what Krishna is trying to say here is to Arjuna, since this is what we are occurring, therefore Arjuna should not be account for the death of Bhishma or Drona, for they will be still alive, but in a different manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful. Yeah, so Krishna will say, it is even better if you kill them because they will get fresh body. So they will be happy. That's how. Okay, so remember the parrot and the cage story. This person keep wiping the cage, but he did not take care of the parrot inside. Then the parrot dies. Amazing, right? Yeah. Very nice, Mataji. I'm so happy. Okay, so we will move because Jaimani Mataji has already given the explanation. Okay, now we are talking about soul here. This was not covered in level 1, so let's see. Sometimes you see, seeing is everything. Okay, so before that, we can't even hear some sound, like some decibels only dogs can hear. Okay, so we cannot see the sound, we can hear, but we can realize, we can feel the sound. We don't see the sound, but we can hear it. So there is a different way of perceiving this. All right, although we can perceive sound, but not all decibels, right? That's frequency, right? We have that limitation, material limitation. Right. Okay, so how about bacteria and virus? We don't see the virus with eyes, but we know the effect. You have some symptoms, isn't it? So there is an evidence that there is bacteria or virus. Okay, and we also cannot see the air, but look at this third picture. But we know the air is working here. So not everything. Therefore, not everything we can apply the theory that seeing is believing. We therefore, I mean, why this illustration is given here, because we cannot see the soul by our material means, but we can learn the symptoms of it. We can learn the size of it, and we can know where it is located. Okay, so we will see that now. 2.17, Jagadish Mataji. Mataji. Jagadish Mataji, can? Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear us? We can't hear you, Mataji. Okay, but we can't hear you. Um, okay. I think you have to go out and come back. Is it okay? We proceed, Mataji? Maybe I can read this. Okay, I will carry on, Mataji. Okay, so sorry, Mataji. Okay, avinasitu tad vidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyyasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. That which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Krishna says, look at the picture also, huh? That which pervades the entire body. So what is that pervades the entire body? There is a name for that, and that you should know that the source that pervades the entire body is indestructible. So therefore it is imperishable. The soul emanates something to that entire body. That is called the symptom of the presence of soul in the body. When the symptom is no longer experienced, it indicates the soul is no longer in the body. Anybody knows what is that symptom? It's a question.
The soul.
Okay, the soul is the source. Okay, but what is the symptom that the soul is in the body? What is the symptom when you caught a virus? You get a flu, you get cough, sore throat. So that is a symptom of having catching cold, right? Catching infecting with a bacteria or virus. So now here we are talking about soul. So how do we know the body has soul? So that is symptom of the soul.
The consciousness that we have.
Yes, Mataji, thank you. Yes, consciousness. Okay, the consciousness is the symptom of that soul. This is a very important but technical answer how soul is experienced in the body. Okay, the symptom is consciousness. Is very important. Yeah, Matajis. Okay, so the size. This one we also covered in level 1. It is in the purport. It is from Svetasvatara Upanishad. That 1/10,000. Okay, so that one. Can somebody recall that or can read that for us? Or maybe I can read. 1/10,000 part of the upper portion of the hair point is size. Okay, it's like it goes like this. When the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts. Each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Okay, that's how small it is, and you cannot see that through microscope. So you cannot measure that by material means. So this is size. Okay, so this is a very important sloka. You can see that characteristic of the soul is given. And where is the position? The position is in the region of heart. Region of heart. And the symptom is consciousness. So what is the formula here? Body minus the soul is a dead body. Body plus soul, consciousness, a living body. Okay, we got to run now. 2.22. Jai Sitarani Mataji. Yes, Apara Mataji, you're right. Soul in the smallest thing. Correct. Can you imagine that there are viruses and things that you cannot see under microscope, and that minute thing has soul inside it? So can you imagine that? Jai Sitarani Mataji, you are there?
Can you hear me?
Can you be louder, Mataji?
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Very soft.
All right. Okay, maybe. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Vasansi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tata sarirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. As a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So basically this particular sloka actually continues from 2.13 where they talk about changing of the bodies in one lifetime. Now this goes on to multiple lifetimes where you know, take on different bodies. And this is a very important point where transmigration of soul is emphasized. So when you look at some other religions, we say, okay, there's only one hell and one heaven, and this is, and in this lifetime you either go to hell or heaven. So that in this is where we can come in and actually refute them, because if God is really compassionate, why is it that there is some people poor, some people rich, some people beautiful, some people ugly, some people were, you know, learned, some people, you know, not learned, you know, things like that. So this, the aspect of karma can be put in here, and therefore we can explain this transmigration of soul with this verse. The other point is also, you know, the at the point of death, it's really very painful. And at that time, it said that a reel of film, like all the memories and impressions you just pass through at the time of death. So sometimes these impressions lie in you,
And for a long time, so when you're born again, sometimes you see babies when they're born, sometimes they're smiling, sometimes they're crying, and for no reason. It's because these impressions are there, still there in this young body. So I've seen, this particular professor who was actually analyzing 250,000 cases of children who can actually remember past lives to such detail, and then after a certain age they tend to forget. So these impressions are there at the point of death. So this particular sloka actually talks about transmigration of souls into different bodies, and we can use this as a proof to say that's not just one time, one lifetime, and you are going to heaven or death. We can refute it with this. This is a very, very important sloka.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Very nice. Okay, it's very interesting to getting you all to speak, right? You have different perspectives, different information. Okay, thank you, Mataji. So I think that is very clear. This is a verse we covered in level 1, and we already have Mataji to explain to us again with examples and evidence. So we move on to body and soul in this context. This driver and the car and somebody who's drowning. So when we drive, when you drive, how many of you are guilty of doing this when you come to underpass, and when the what do you call it, the toll bar gonna hit on your car, and then you duck down as if it's gonna hit on your head. Why? Because we identify ourselves as the car. Okay, and then when somebody throws a stone on the car or scratch, then you feel ouch, because we identify ourselves as the car. So the driver is different from the car. Therefore, similarly, the soul is different from the body. How about this one? Saving drowning person. And then you have this person who's asking for help, and then you try to save him, and then you got the coat, and then you say, yay, I saved him. Oh, come on, you only saved the coat, the outer dress, but you have not saved the person. So it's like identifying ourselves as the car, which is actually the body, and the soul, and the person itself, and his coat. So these are our outer layers. So this will change. So Krishna is telling what is the application for us here. So because this level 2, it is important that you take note of the how to apply this. If at all I forgot, or I skipped this part in any of the slokas, or you couldn't catch, you have to ask back, because that is the motive of this level 2. And even in level 1, in whatever level, whatever philosophy that we learn, especially from Bhagavad Gita, we want to know how can we apply in our life. So the application for this body and soul is that compassion for the dress of drowning man is senseless. Similarly, a man fallen in the ocean of nescience, okay, when I say nescience means repeated cycle of birth and death, cannot be saved by rescuing his outer dress, body. You can give some means of assistance to somebody in terms of bodily material assistance, but how long can you go on like that? Isn't it? You need to do something for the person's soul, because that will carry on forever and ever and ever. Okay, so that is what it matters. Okay, so these are summary of characteristic of soul, which we covered in level 1. So we have Kajai Mataji to present this to us. Welcome, Kajai Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Revision from level 1. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble, and can be neither burned nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. So basically, my understanding from this verse is that our soul and our body are actually two separate entities. The soul itself is unlike the body, which can happen, all of these things that's listed on top, all of that can happen to your physical body, but it cannot be done to your soul, which is why they're completely separate entities. One needs to have the understanding that the soul lives on in the sense that it transmigrates. until it it gets into transcendental level. So we continuously transmigrate. We become an animal, we become a human, we become an insect, and we move on. So what we, the living souls who are now in this world, need to understand is, when somebody dies, understand that the soul has left the body, which is why during funerals, we don't call the body by the person's name anymore. We call it the body, because that's all that's left there, the body. So yes, we grieve because we have regrets. Most of the time we cry at funerals because there are so many things we didn't do. I didn't do this, I didn't see you. There's so much of regret. So I think this verse also asks us to live every day, spend time with people, because that physical being is your connectivity to the soul. There's no other way you can connect two souls together. Is that physical being is what helps you as a medium, two souls to talk together, in other words. So while you're alive, spend time with the people, don't cry at the funeral, and remember that the body is the one that has ended, but that soul, or if you want to say that person, they continue to live on. So celebrate the soul's life and accept that it is time to move on. I'm done.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. So I think that's very, very crystal clear. So all these characteristics Mataji has given, okay, cannot be cut into pieces, cannot be burned by fire, cannot be moistened by water, cannot be withered by wind. It's unbreakable and insoluble. You cannot dissolve it, and it cannot be burned or dried. So what is he actually? He is everlasting. He present everywhere. Remember the earlier one, he pervades everywhere as consciousness, unchangeable, eternally the same. It doesn't change in shapes. Okay, it's invisible by material means. You know, the tip of the hair. Remember, you can bring this. And inconceivable. Wow, such a tiny living entity can power up like somebody said, Aparamataji, the smallest of the smallest thing, and also can power up a dinosaur. You know, it's so inconceivable, isn't it? And immutable. It is not, it doesn't have strain 1, strain 2 like COVID, right? Yes, crystal clear. Okay, I'm enjoying this assignment. Okay, I'm enjoying it. I hope you too. Okay, all right, move on. Okay, now I'm going to give you a small summary in 3 minutes in a video. Okay, why is not playing? Oh, come on. Okay, it's not playing. Okay, I'm so sorry. I think I have to share this in the group later. Let me try again. Okay, no choice. I have to share that later. Okay, 2.27. Who is it?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Ashita Mai Mataji, sorry, my screen off. Okay, carry on, Mataji.
Jata shahi dhruva mityo dhruvam janma mita shacha tasmat aparihayete na tvam sojitum ahasi avyata tini putani yatta mayani parata avyata mitananyewa tatra kaparidevana. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after that, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation?
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So here Krishna is starting to talk about duty. Okay, this is called karma vada, work. One has to take birth according to his activity in his past life, like Jesitarani Mataji explained earlier. Okay, and die after finishing his terms of reactions. Thus, death generates no loss in this natural course of event. It's natural. And thus, this verse actually helps us to dispel the lamentation. Krishna is dispelling the lamentation of Krishna based on the illusory bodily concept of life. So you can see until now we are talking about the body and soul. Okay. And then Krishna is giving logical explanation. Anyways, a person will die. So you should do your duty. Anyhow, they will die. All right. So because this body, it was like unmanifested before, and then the soul has taken up this body, and later it will be uh, unmanifested before, it becomes manifested now, and later it will unmanifest again. But in this condition, the soul remains unchanged. So there's similarly like flower, right? There is no flower in the beginning. It manifests and unmanifests. Okay, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest. So it happens with any living entity. Like it only differ from the only difference between the flower and us is that we grow, we grow, we have byproducts, and then we dwindle and die. So maybe flowers, the process is quicker. Okay, so we do not lament for that for the quote alone. So dying is not the end. So Krishna is asking, what is their need for the lamentation? Okay, however, I would like to add here, the focus of learning here is unnecessary violence is not encouraged. Okay, this cycle, oh, never mind, I kill him now, he's going to take a new body. No, please, we don't do that, because cycle of birth does not support unnecessary slaughter, murder, and war. Okay, but in this case, this violence is inevitable factor to re-establish law and order. Okay, and particularly this battle of Kurukshetra is by the will of the Supreme. Okay, so how does this apply to Arjuna? So Krishna is saying, no need to fear the death of relatives, because fighting was his proper duty as a Kshatriya. Discharge of your duty. And don't worry about your sinful reactions, because he is not breaking the law, because he was simply carrying out the will of Supreme. So he's not breaking any laws. So there is no sinful reactions. All right. Okay, so here we have covered from 11 to 30, because after this we are going to 31 already. So in summary, Krishna rebukes Arjuna for his misplaced compassion. Krishna then later he began his instruction by describing the individual nature of the soul, contrasting it with the temporary nature of the body. And then Krishna described the characteristics of the soul in detail, and he introduced additional points to further defeat Arjuna's first argument on compassion. So all this while, Krishna has refuted Arjuna's compassion. Compassion so far. Okay. The reason for compassion. Okay, this is a short story actually. I will try to do it short. I will give you the full story later. So this was a king who lost his son because this son was born to one of his wives, and the other wife, he had more other wives, and this wife, they were envious and they poisoned this baby. So the baby died. But this baby was actually it was a special baby, because after so long he was so morose not having a son, and this Angira Muni gave him this boon of getting a son. So he was a special child, very nice. It's a son given by this Angira Muni. So what happened? The envious wives poisoned this baby, so the baby died. And so Chitraketu was lamenting on this loss of this the son. And then Angira Muni and Narada Muni came. They came by to the palace, and Narada Muni, with magically he made the living entity enter back into the body of the baby. Okay, so by the mercy of by the mystic power of Narada Muni, the baby become live again, and then Narada Muni will tell the baby, okay, now you can continue to be happy with your father and mother, like that. And then the baby, who has now is talking as a learned person, saying, as the result of my fruitive activities, I, the living being, transmigrate from one body to another. Sometimes I go to the species of the demigod, sometimes to the species of lower animals, sometimes among the vegetables, and sometimes to the human species. So therefore, in which birth were this father and mother from? Who are they? From which birth they are my father and mother? No one is actually my mother and father. So how can I accept these two people as my parents? So that is the short version of the story. Okay, to say that the souls transmigrate, and you have had so many father and mother, and then the soul will actually leave the body of the baby and it will go on. And it's a very long lecture that the baby will give. So later on, the father and mother become detached, okay, and they will do funeral for the body as per the scriptures. So they move on like that. Okay, 2.31. um, Amina Mataji, are you here? Meena Mataji? Hare Krishna, Meena Mataji? Mataji is here but not unmuting. Mataji? Okay, Mataji, can you? Oh, I can't hear you. You need to unmute, Mataji. Your mic is showing muted. Can you unmute? Boleh, Mataji? Okay, can? Eh? Okay, you unmute now. Just now you muted, unmuted. Can, Mataji? Hare Krishna, Mataji. Is your key not working or something? Any problem, Mataji? I can read for you. No? Okay, you can't unmute, Mataji? Pushpa Mataji also not around. Okay, never mind. Let me read Mataji. No problem, Mataji. No worries, no worries. It's great that you are here. Okay. Swadharmam api chavekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmya diyuddha treyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyade. Considering your specific duty as a Kshatriya, you should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles. And so there is no need for hesitation. Okay, so earlier we covered from 11 to 30 about factually that the soul is an indestructible living entity within the body. Therefore, there is no need of lamentation. So you can see that was the first 1 to 10, and then we have 11 to 30. Now we are 31 here. So here, as a this is a practical application for Arjuna. As a Satriya, he should not abandon his prescribed duties out of fear that his grandfather and teacher will die in the battle. So Krishna is quoting from Dharma Shastra. He's saying, earlier Krishna was talking about jnana, body, soul. It is jnana. Okay, for now Krishna is using something it is described that now Krishna is showing or describing something less elevated theory, which is based on work, based on work. So you do your work and you will get your reward. So what kind of reward is that? Let's see. Okay, if you fight, okay, the question is, you want to fight or not fight, right? Okay, if you're going to fight, yes, you're going to win. Either you're going to win or no. Okay, I mean, if you win, what happens? You get your kingdom. All right. And then if you fight, if you do not fight, you will be called coward. So you will suffer from infamy. Now, when you fight, if you do not win, where you go? You go to heavenly planets. Okay, this is easy, right? It's either you want to fight or no. If you fight, your possibilities are win or no. But if you don't fight, you're going to be called as coward. Then, when you win, you get your kingdom. If you don't win, you go to heavenly planets. So either way, you get reward only if you do your duty, which is this. Yes, fight. If you do not, there is no reward here. Okay, so Krishna is saying, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the kingdom, earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. So here, can you see here? Krishna is refuting the enjoyment argument. Remember, Arjuna says, what is the enjoyment there? If I win, I have people dying there. How can I enjoy? No, Krishna says the kingdom is your enjoyment. Okay, if you don't win, you go to heavenly planets. But in either case, you need to fight. All right. Okay. Okay. Actually, we are done with the verses for today. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Krishna will appear as Lord Chaitanya, and he will give this one point. Okay, first of all, I would like to say this Bhagavad Gita is more like a bachelor's degree. Later, if there's advancement, when we read Bhagavatam, that is called post-graduation. And then above that is something we call PhD level scripture, that is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So for now, we are reading Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is saying, we are not the body but the soul. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is Krishna, right? This is another devotee called Sanatana Goswami. He will ask a question, who am I? What is the position of the living entities? Why are they always undergoing these three kinds of miseries? Okay, and Lord Chaitanya will say, he will establish that we are not body, we are the soul. Okay, your material body is not your real self, nor is your mind your real identity, nor your intelligence, nor your false ego. But he did not stop there. Like I say, Bhagavad Gita was postgraduate and Chaitanya Charitamrita is like a PhD. So here, Lord Chaitanya or Krishna goes on to say, we are, apart from that, we are not the body but the soul. We are also the part and parcel of Krishna, and that our occupational duty, our prescribed duty for Krishna is to be a servant. We have to be identified. Our identity is that we are an eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So remember, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says body versus soul. And then he also says we are part and parcel of Krishna. But here Lord Chaitanya says we are servant of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking it to the next level. He said that not only you are soul, you are servant of the Lord. This is our constitutional position, which is to serve Krishna. Okay, so this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so remember our friends have described the transmigration. We are changing body to body. So what is the difference here? Just like more facilities are given to government officer, because he has more responsibilities, he can discharge more important duties. So he's got certain position to execute certain things. So like that, we are also given this human body. So therefore, we have advantage of doing. We have the advantage of acquiring knowledge. Okay, using our intelligence in our activities. Okay, so that's the difference in the position between animals and us. So the fact that we have received the form of human body is to utilize it wisely. Okay, so here you can see animals, they're showing the cat is at the roadside doing nothing, but here we have to utilize our life to engage in devotion services, to discharge higher duties. So we should use our human life to link with Supreme. The higher duty is to connect with the Supreme. Okay, we'll go through the recap quickly. Anybody remembers what was the first topic? Yeah, yes, can Mataji. Another faith? Yes, why not? Because the soul is not identified by Hindu or Muslim or Christian. The soul is a soul. It takes up different bodies. So we really don't know how that will happen. That's why you see some people who are born Russian, who are born Muslims, Christians, they are taking up Krishna consciousness with the connection of having read Prabhupada's book or having into contact with the devotee. So that's why that's why the Krishna consciousness is not confined to only Indians or Hindus. No, we have so many, all kind of races and religions coming. So that is an evidence that soul can go anywhere. Okay. Yeah. So can anybody recall the first topic here?
5 ways of direct relationship with Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, that is the correct. That's the introduction. Okay, next. I forgot to put that, but I will go to the next one now. How did we start the chapter? Chapter 2. Clue is Arjuna's doubts. Yes, Arjuna's doubts, reasons, confusion. After that, what happens? The first 10 slokas surrender. Yes. Okay. So the first topic, Arjuna's further reasons for not fighting, and then finally he surrenders to Krishna. And remember the change of relationship to guru and disciple. Okay, so here we covered 3 verses actually, 2.2, 2.6 and 2.7. So in 2.2, Krishna will say, they are not, the Supreme Personality of Godhead say, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to, anybody remembers? They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Remember that, okay? I'm stressing that, so pay attention. Okay, next topic from 11 to 30. Krishna gives an analytical study. I did not say that. Okay, so Krishna is giving analytical study of body and soul. Okay, here, can I ask a question? What reason is refuted here among the 5 reasons? Okay, I think we cannot do chanting today, so we just finish up with this recap. Come on, Matajis, which reason is refuted here? Using the body and soul. Yes, compassion is refuted. And then, so what is the conclusion here? So you know the study on the body versus soul, and then the compassion is refuted here. So what? Like that. So what?
No enjoyment.
Not yet, Mataji, not yet. In this section, compassion is refuted. So what is the connection with this compassion being refuted? And Krishna says versus body versus soul. No need to lament for what, Mataji? A bit more, a bit more. Not yet. A bit more, sikit lagi. Something about do not lament for death or living. Why? Why do not lament for the dead people? Why? Because there is no death for the soul. So fight. Okay, now moving on to duty. Who says that? Shobha Mataji, right? Okay. Now, so what happens in Karma Kanda work? What reasons are refuted here? Remember the diagram, fight or no fight? What reason is refuted here? Okay. Yes, Apara Mataji, you got it. And then one more. So when you do the duty, when you kill, he is not breaking the law. Therefore, he is not incurring what? That is the third reason being refuted here. Very good. Enjoyment and sinful reactions refuted. So therefore, perform duty and gain what? Perform your duty and gain what? Because remember Krishna says, Arjuna was saying, there is no enjoyment for me in this killing. Yes, perform duties and gain material enjoyment. So fight. All right, thank you, Matajis. Awesome. Okay, so next week is Buddhi Yoga or working in Krishna consciousness. So what is Buddhi? Buddhi means intelligence. Yoga means activity, connection. So Buddhi Yoga is the intelligent use of mind and keeping it engaged in devotional activities. Okay, so we will try to finish early. I'm not sure. Next week, also a long chapter actually. We will try to finish fast so that we can do group chanting. Group chanting is very good. Chanting in the association of devotees is very, very good. So I'm trying to do that. Okay, thank you so much. That's it. Any questions, you can WhatsApp me because it's almost 9. Any urgent questions I can take now, or anything you want to share? So do you all enjoy the sharing by the participants? Can I do that for next week as well? Thank you, Mataji, for your sharing, for you to speak. Yeah, I was worried that you all will be scared or what. I hope it's not too tough. You just have to read the purport and just explain. Okay. Thank you, Matajis. Have a good night. Anything? Anything else? Okay. Thank you, Jai Shankar Mataji. So look out for the quiz. I will share shortly. We were, but then we know we among friends. You mean you were scared? Is it, Apara Mataji? Is that what you're saying? Don't be. Yeah. Just get comfortable. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Shaba Mataji. I hope I answered your questions. Anything else you can ask me. No, it was not. Mataji, you were so confident. It was like listening to your podcast, and you know how beautifully you connected the two things. It's pretty relevant, right?
Yeah, Mataji was relevant. And
The last part, I was like, it's like your
sorry,
podcast.
I select him a little bit.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's awesome, Mataji. That is application, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we all know how it's applied to Arjuna, but to us, it's yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Everyone can actually talk. Usually, Mataji likes to talk to everyone after class. So please talk.
Yeah, okay. I tried to finish class earlier. Yeah, but chapter 2, right? It's pretty heavy, so cannot give too much also.
Betul. It's one of the big chapters. We've got a lot of words. I think 50 plus or 60.
72.
72, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, relationship is important. Like what you mentioned in your explanation earlier. Even with Krishna also, we want to have direct relationship. So what to speak of human to human, right? Yeah. Okay, where's your dog, Mataji?
Oh,
Louis.
The dog and the cat both sleeping. They always sleep during the class. Yeah, they always sleep.
Okay, next week we will chant together, keep them with you.
Yeah. Even when I was chanting earlier, they both kachau me. So I don't know why. They're probably wondering what happened to her.
Okay, can join.
Okay, Mataji, good night.
Yeah, good night,
Good night,
Mataji.
all
Thank you.
Matajis.
Hare
Okay, bye.
Krishna.